collectors are getting exposed. Rent keeps going up.
Rent so high, I'm about to go pick up a shift at the leasing office.
Fees never stop. Maintenance? Good luck.
Like the holes in the door is like bigger than the screw.
And renters are finally calling them out. Real quick, she gonna tell you why you can't trust these people in the leasing office.
For my tenants, if you live in an apartment, come on in the room, baby, because this video is for you. Take these off so y'all know I'm serious about this. Now, I don't know. I have to scream this from the mountaintop every time, and I say it over and over again. The leasing office staff, the leasing agents, everyone in that office is not your friend. They do not care about you. They're supposed to, but they have a particular party that usurps your interest, and that is their bosses. The corporate office, the property management company that manages your property, that is who they're worried about. They are not worried about you as a tenant. Stop relying on what they say and what they're doing, and I'm gonna tell you why. I got a perfect story about this. And I know I'm fussing at y'all. Forgive me for fussing, but I feel like I might need to fuss at a couple of you. Because a lot of people really hold on to the leasing office staff, the managers and agents, as if they are their friends and they have your best interest at heart. I don't care how much y'all kiki. Do not trust those people, because they will undercut you and undermine you the very second that they can. I've had several cases where people thought that the leasing office manager and staff was their friends, and they switched up on them and getting evicted or going through all type of hell and high water because they really trusted these people thinking that they were their friends, and they were not. But let me tell you about what happened today. So I have a new mold case. I reached out to the apartment, sent them my letter of representation, let them know that I'm representing this tenant and their family and needed to contact me. We kept following up for about a week and a half, calling, emailing, no response, letting us know that they received our letter. Finally, my paralegal calls them. They say, oh, yes, we got your letter. We will get our attorney or our corporate office to contact you. Cool. Another week goes by, no response. So I send a demand for termination of my client's lease agreement because we're trying to get them out of that property, and I'm about to hit them with another demand because they played with us. But anyway, I sent them a demand for termination of lease agreement yesterday. I sent that to them, right? No response, nothing, zero, zilch. But in every form of correspondence I've sent them, everything states that they need to contact my office in regards to the claim. They cannot contact my client. They need to contact me in regards to the claim, right? So I'm in here working, dealing away, drafting, and my client calls me. And he says, hey, Sydney, I keep getting calls from the leasing office telling me that they want me to speak to the leasing manager. I don't know if I should talk to them or not. I just kind of want to get your opinion. And I'm like, well, they still can contact you in regards to, your unit, getting the repair, stuff like that. But if they call you, and talk in regards to the claim, they're not supposed to be talking to you because you have an attorney. They should be talking to me. So I said, call me if they call you again. They had called him several times. They call me if they call you again and throw me in so I can hear what they say and I can talk with them since they've been avoiding me. So lo and behold, he calls me back, right? About 30 minutes later, merges me into the call. And I don't say anything because I want to hear what they're going to tell him. And the young lady on the line says, hello, this is so-and-so from the leasing office. We want you to know that corporate has agreed to release you from the lease, which lets me know that you got my demand yesterday and you sent it to corporate, and corporate reviewed it and approved it. But the guy here, we want you and your wife to come to our office before the end of the day to sign this agreement releasing you from the lease. I said, oh, okay. So y'all got my demand, intentionally did not contact me, have been blowing my client's phone up all day to have him and his wife come down there and sign an agreement that they have no idea what the legal jargon in there means, probably would void out all their claims for liability and being able to file suit against you, and came behind my back and did that. So, I popped up. I said, excuse me. Hi. Yes, this is Sydney Sexton, the attorney for the tenant in your apartment complex. I've contacted you all and you have not reached back out to me. I sent a demand yesterday, which I'm assuming that you're calling about today, and it's surprising me that your corporate would call my client directly when you know that he's hired me as counsel and not contact me and want him to sign a document that you all have not sent me to vet. So how about this? You get off the phone with my client, y'all send me that document, and you have your corporate office or your attorney contact me, and do not call my client anymore. And she said, oh, okay, and hung up real fast. Exactly. Because why would you try to play with my client like that? And most importantly, why would you try to play with me like that? That's why I tell you guys, do not trust your leasing office, because if I had not been hired on as counsel for them, I guarantee you, an average person would have went down there, been excited that they would have been able to get out that agreement, sign that agreement, voided themselves of being able to pursue any damages for the mold exposure, injuries that they've had from the property, any lost wages, lost damages, anything like that. Voided everything out. Trusted these people thinking that they are doing them a favor and would have lost out on their claim. Because you know why? Leasing offices do not care about you. Leasing managers do not care about you because they are serving the interests of the corporate offices that they work for. So what you need to do when you're dealing with a leasing office and you're having some form of tenant dispute, hire an attorney. Do not sign anything without hiring an attorney. Even if you can't hire an attorney on your case, muster up that money and book a consultation and have them review whatever documentation your leasing office, landlords, property management company, whatever they're trying to get you to sign. Go before an attorney and have them review it. And if they're trying to rush you to sign something saying, oh, well, this only lasts by the end of the day, you have to sign it today or the offer is gone, they are trying to swindle you and get over on you in there. And anytime someone rushes you in any situation, it is never for your betterment. It's never for your good. Someone's trying to take advantage of you because there's no need to rush you if there's something in there that would keep you from signing it if you go and get someone to look at it. So remember, do not trust these people. Hire an attorney. If you can't hire one, at least book a consultation. Let them vet whatever document they're trying to get you to sign and tell you about what your interests are going forward. But do not trust these people, okay? They do not have your best interests at heart. They will take advantage of you. I tried to take advantage of my client today, but thankfully, he hired me. And I got them together real quick, sent them a nice email of everything that happened, and I gave them a timeline of events of when letter of representation was sent, the demand was sent, who was on the call, what was said on the call, what rules they violated by doing that. And yeah, so I'll keep you updated on what happens next with this case. But listen to me. Don't trust them people.
Listen to that advice. This next one, boy, it got deep.
Y'all, it's gonna be a couple of these parts to this story because when I tell y'all, it's so much BS y'all gonna be hearing. Y'all gonna be like, oh my God, but I don't, bro, let's just get into it. Let's get into this mother freaking story time, part 1, about these apartments I'm exposing, because this gotta be done. So let's start from the beginning of when me first living over here, or like the whole process of basically everything. So we gonna start from like the beginning, like from when I first applied type shit. So I applied, got approved, whatever. Not fast forward, let's back some. Before I applied, I looked at the apartment. I'm like, okay, this cool, this cool. I'm asking her all types of stuff, questions. I'm like, the gate work? She said, yeah, the gate work. I'm like, what about the pool? She was like, no, the pool's not working right now, but they trying to get it fixed. I think she said something about like they trying to get it fixed and stuff like that. But she told me that this motherfucking gate worked. I remember that because I was happy about that. She was like, yeah, the gate work, this and that. So I was like, okay, yeah. Anyway, so she showed us the apartment, viewed it. I was like, okay, this is cool. This is like, okay, nice little 2-bedroom, vinyl. It had vinyl floor. It had like carpet in the bathroom. The kitchen was like little nice size, whatever. I just hate. The cabinet is brown, but it is what it is. You can always DIY or whatever. But anyways, so she showed me. I'm like, okay, this cool, and I'm telling her like, from jump, like, I don't want no carpet in the room. I want vinyl. I want my apartment to look like this apartment, like how I see this vinyl on this floor. That's what I want. And she was like, okay, we could do that, whatever. And then so she was like, she gonna find me an apartment with vinyl and stuff like that, and she gonna let us know when she got the apartment ready for us, whatever. She called herself, I guess, looking to see if she had any another available unit with no carpet, but she said she didn't have anything that was going to be ready and available, or they just didn't have anything right now. So we had to settle for what we had to settle for and get carpet. But she told me, oh, it's going to be brand new carpet. I didn't give a fuck about it being brand new carpet. I didn't want carpet from jump. So that was like a red flag right there. That should have been like, okay, red flag. No. But I just stuck with it. So then after that, you know, she showed us the apartment we're gonna be moving into. We did a little walkthrough. I was like, okay, everything looked good or whatever. So I was like, okay, it's cool. The only thing I didn't like, and I told her about, was the front door when it dragged. When you open the door, I did not like that. I did not like that. So she said, oh, I'm gonna get somebody to come look at that and see if they can fix it for you or whatever. I was like, okay, bet. So little shit started happening, like, okay, the refrigerator, like, stopped working, like the next, like, when we moved in, like, it stopped working, like, the next day or two. I'm like, hold on, the refrigerator not working, like, the light off in that bitch, it don't seem like it's getting cold, none of that shit. So goddamn, I ended up telling her about that, and she ended up getting the mans out here to come fix it. They fixed it or whatever. Then some other issues started to happen. So then the freaking fire alarm systems wasn't working. Then the sockets in, like, the living room area, like, was not working. They stopped working. I don't know what was going on with that. So I ended up telling them about that. They ended up coming and fix that. They ended up coming and do fix the alarms also. And I kept still telling them about the door. Mind y'all, I've been telling them about the door. They said, oh, they're gonna get somebody. They keep looking at the door. Every time maintenance come, they'll look at the door, but nobody never fix it or whatever. So that's like the little issues that started happening at first in the apartment, like as far as the outlets and the refrigerator. And mind y'all, I haven't even been living in an apartment for like a good, like, 3, 4, 5 months yet, for real. Like, honestly, I haven't even been living in that bitch for a good little 2 months before I really felt like I was really comfortable living in, because some other issues started happening. So in the guest bathroom, it's like this, like, screw that looked like it was just screwed in the ceiling of the wall. It started, like, dripping little water or whatever. It started dripping little water. We ended up telling them about that. I ended up taking pictures. I'm gonna insert pictures. I'm gonna insert videos, and y'all gonna see all of it, because y'all gotta see this shit. Y'all gonna have to see it. I'm gonna show y'all. But it started off as a little hole. Like, it wasn't even a hole, because it had like a screw over it, but like water was dripping out of it. So it started out like that. We ended up telling her about the issue, whatever. Yeah, so after that ended up happening, and we ended up telling her about the issues they had, ended up having somebody come out here and look at it, whatever. So all they want to do is have somebody come look at something. So they looked at it. I don't even remember what they did, because it was so long ago. I don't even really think they did anything for real about it at that time, for real. Like, I think we kept having to press the issue, because, like, okay, like, when somebody gonna... And I also forgot to mention I had moved in around, like, September, like the middle of September. Another thing I forgot to mention is that we was having issues with the moving, that we wasn't even able to move in on the date we wanted to move in. It kept getting pushed back or whatever. Forgot to tell y'all that in the beginning. The moving date kept getting pushed back or whatever. So I think we stayed in an apartment for, like, okay, September, October, November. Probably all the way up until, like, December. Probably, like, December going into January is, like, when all the major issues started happening. Like, the major issues. The major issues. So I don't want to make this video too long. So, y'all, I'm going to make a part 2 to this. It's going to be multiple parts. So if y'all want to continue to hear what's going on about these stupid apartments and how I'm trying to sue these folks for real, honestly, stay tuned and coming for part 2. Y'all want to keep listening in to what I got to say, because, like, I got video footage, I got photos, I got even freaking voice recordings from when I went to the rent office talking to these folks about certain stuff. So, like, if y'all really, like, come on. I got evidence to prove, like, for real. Y'all gonna be like, oh my God, like, how can, yeah. So, yeah, like, for part 2, if y'all want to see part 2, I don't want to make these videos too long, because I know I can't sit for a long video. So, yeah. What's up, y'all? It's part 2 of me exposing these apartments, because somebody needs to do it. Anyways, basically, I left off basically telling y'all about, like, when basically the major stuff started really happening. Like, this is, like, basically when the major stuff started happening. I'm gonna post a clip of, like, when the ceiling really kind of started to get bad, and we told them again about it. So yeah, we gonna let y'all see that, and then I'm gonna come back to it.
Okay, so it looked kind of fine. It looks regular. Oh, you could tell. She got her grandmama cane. What is you doing with that cane? I wouldn't even mess with it. Oh my good dang, it's soft. Oh no, that's a safety hazard.
So as y'all can see in the video, me trying to touch the ceiling with the thing to see like how much water is actually in the ceiling, cause like, yeah, when I tell you, it started off as like, you know, when you get little driplets or something that's coming, that's how it started off. Then over time, it just started like just staying in the ceiling, and it was just like moist. Like y'all see that. So that ended up happening. So we ended up telling them about it, whatever. It still ain't did nothing. I ain't gonna lie, that bathroom was like bad. Like it kept getting worse and worse and worse. Like we kept telling them about the situation. They came, they had like 2-3 different companies come out and look. I remember specifically one guy said that something about these apartments not up to code, and how that he has to get approval from our property manager about getting, I guess, some of the materials they needed. You know how stuff go, I guess, with the property. I don't know, but he was just telling me that. I was like, okay. So I'm thinking, since we know they know what the hell they about to do, some shit's got to be getting done. No. We still was waiting. Then they had somebody else finally come, and then they tried to do something. Mind you, it ended up to a point to where we wasn't even having no water, nigga. Couldn't bathe, bruh.
So, that's the ceiling. It says just kept getting worse. It didn't fell from the ceiling. Damn. Whoa, no. What the hell is... how does this happen? Look at that. Okay, it's probably roaches too. Why are there subtitles in French? February. February. Oh my goodness, y'all hear that? Drip. Damn.
Y'all seen in that clip with the when the video when they had the ceiling open and it was leaking? That was I think the first people they had came to go look at it, and then they had somebody else come and look at it, and they was talking about having to shut off the whole water systems through the whole neighborhood in order to do something, because if they didn't, something, it was gonna bust, some pipes was gonna burst, and it was just a whole lot of stuff that we was hearing. I was just like, oh my god, like what the heck? And it was even to a point where I was like, okay, can y'all just move us to another unit then? Like, can y'all do that? They was like, yeah, we can try to move y'all to another unit and stuff like that. This was like, this is with the first management before the so-called new management had came in. This was the first management that I was dealing with before new management had came in or whatever. That's what she was telling me. Oh, we can move y'all this and that third. Just gotta wait till apartment unit is ready. The run around like bullshit, like all the bullshit they be giving me. And then they had brought all these humidifier machines inside the apartment, trying to get all the moisture out the walls and stuff like that. I didn't, like, y'all is using my electricity. Y'all not giving me no money for that. Like, what? Had them machines run through all that. Not keep the machines running. Them loud machines. Them 2 machines was loud as hell. Like, what? It was just, I don't know. It was just so much, like. Like, when we go to the rent office and tell them that we wasn't able to, like, use our water and stuff like that. I think we was, like, the only one in our building with the water wasn't even working right for us. Like, literally, I think we was the only one. And then she was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, y'all can get a hotel, or you think we want to come out our pockets to get a hotel for something that y'all could have avoided and it could have been fixed on when we've been talking about this and been having issues about this situation? Like, that didn't even make sense to me. Like, I didn't understand that. And then, not prior to that, other stuff was going on in the apartment. Also, the master bathroom, it would, like, flood. I don't know. I think it, like, when it, not necessarily flood, but, like, clog up. Like when it rains, like it'll do that. And I told the rent office about that. They didn't have maintenance come look at it. And then, you wanna know what the maintenance told me? Basically, I'm gonna have to keep plunging it. What? Are you serious? Like I think I even got a picture of that filling up in the tub. And then another thing, the bathroom sink was messing up. And I told them about that. When I tell y'all, it took them a minute to even come and see about that. And then when they finally came to see about the tub, I had already then fixed the sink. Y'all, why it was hair stuck in the sink from the last people that stayed here? That's so nasty. That is so nasty. Like, situation with the bathroom ceiling just kept going on. Like, it was like that for some months. When I say it was like that for some months. Like, when they finally came and got somebody to actually stop the leaking, it was still a hole in the ceiling. It was still a hole in the tub. Like literally. But just because they got somebody to come fix this leak, that didn't stop the bull crap. That didn't stop none of the bull crap. Y'all. If you want to continue to hear what's going on, like for part 3, come for part 3. We exposing these apartments because I still got some more tea. Let's get it. Let's go.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. That was actually scary as fuck. But the next one is really like a horror story. Like, look at this, man. Oh, look at this.
This is why you should always do a ton of research before moving into a new place or house, because if the rent is way too cheap, there might be a reason behind it. Evan had just recently landed his dream job. The only problem was that it was about 2 hours away from where he currently lived. So the 2-hour commute there and back was insane. He finally decided that it was time for him to move closer to his job. He started looking at places. The only problem was that everything was extremely expensive. They wanted the first month's rent, last month's rent, they wanted a down payment, they wanted his kidney. Like, it was insane. He was constantly looking, but nothing ever came through, or he would get rejected. Finally, one day he comes across this listing of this apartment that wasn't too far from his job. When he went to look at it, the apartment looked nice. It was like a 2-bedroom, like modest apartment. They only wanted $500 a month for this apartment. They didn't want a deposit. He didn't have to put like a down payment. They literally just wanted the $500. He could have moved in right away. When he asked like the landlord about this, like, well, like, is there anything wrong with the apartment? Like, why is it so cheap? The landlord pretty much told him that she understood how hard it was to get an apartment and to get started, and she was doing this out of the goodness of her heart because she didn't really need the money. He pretty much said say no more and ended up moving in. Like, that following weekend, he moved all his stuff down, and his cat also came with him. Now, from day one, once he was like settled in, he noticed that the apartment had like a weird moldy smell. When he asked the landlord about it, she told him that it was because there was a river nearby, and sometimes it just attracts a lot of moisture. So Evan just decided to get a bunch of plugins and like candles and just call it a day. He figured that he could probably live with the moldy smell for $500 a month. This is when things started to get a little bit crazy. Anytime Evan would step out of the apartment, his cat would cry uncontrollably, almost like the cat was in extreme pain. So much so that the neighbors started to complain, and Evan ended up having to take the cat to live with his aunt while he was living in that apartment, because the cat could not be left there. Like, no matter what he did, the cat was completely just like terrified of being in the apartment. Once the cat left, it was almost like things took a turn for the worse. Evan then started having extremely like demonic type dreams. He was being paralyzed in his sleep. He had a 2-bedroom apartment. He only was in the 1 bedroom. The 2nd bedroom was by completely like empty. He would always hear footsteps in that room. He would hear voices. He would hear knocking. His breaking point was when he woke up in the middle of the night because he was being dragged by something he couldn't see out of his bed. Like, something was literally dragging him out of bed. He ended up calling his aunt, who was very spiritual. He kind of told her what was going on, and she recommended this lady that does cleansings. She was like, you should call this lady. She'll come and cleanse your apartment. It seems like your apartment is haunted. He was never really a believer in any of that stuff, but he was so desperate that he decided to call the lady, and the lady came. The minute she walked in, she told him, she was like, there's something very dark and heavy in your apartment. You definitely need a cleansing. He says that she went ahead and started lighting like some like incense, and she's like spreading things around, and things felt like they had calmed down for like a day or two, but then it came back even worse. Like, whatever the lady did pissed this thing off. He was now waking up with bruises, and he was on the verge of losing his job. I thought I just saw something. I should probably stop recording in the basement. But Evan was getting ready to lose his job because he was losing so much sleep from being awake through all of these like attacks that he was getting ready to get fired. He went to the landlord and practically begged her so he could break the lease. She told him no, that he couldn't break the lease, that if he did broke the lease, that he should look at the fine print, that he would owe her a large amount of money, that his only option was to just stay in the apartment and tough it out. When he explained to her why he wanted to leave, she told him that he was pretty much crazy, that there was nothing wrong with the apartment, and that she wasn't gonna break the lease over like paranormal stuff, that she didn't believe in anything of that sort. He ended up going to his job and talking to them about like the possibility of working remote. Thankfully they agreed, so he decided to close down the apartment and move 2 hours back home and just work remote while continuing to pay for this apartment that he wasn't even living in for the remainder of that year. Once the year mark came and he paid the last $500 to that lady, he went and he ended the lease. On his way out, he ran across her nephew. They were talking. The nephew asked him like, how was it living in that apartment? And Evan explained to him like everything that went on, and even told him how he wasn't even there for half the time because of how crazy things got. Then the nephew told him that he didn't understand why his aunt had rented out that apartment, because that apartment was notorious for being haunted, that any person that had ever lived in there has never lasted more than like a month, because they all express feeling things and being dragged and like being paralyzed. Apparently the person who lived there like years ago was a lender. He lended money to like people in like the neighborhood, and if the person wouldn't pay him back, he would come after the person, he would torture them, he would unalive them or their family. So he was hated by the community. One day a bunch of people got together, went to his house, that apartment, and ended up unaliving him and his wife. And after that, the apartment was extremely haunted. So yeah, once Evan ended the lease, he left and never heard of that place ever again. Those people or those ghosts or demons are probably still in that apartment today.
Now, whether or not y'all want to believe that story, that's up to y'all. I think it might have some damn merit to it, but you never know, man. Stuff do be scary in this world. Stuff do paranormal. You feel me? And if you are normal, you need to be subscribed to my channel. Channel? What the hell is channel? Channel. I was trying to say channel and account at the same damn time. Man, let me know if y'all tired of these damn apartments. Luckily, I live in a decent apartment. It's good. Ain't nothing going on. Ain't no roaches. You know, ain't no neighbors trying to kick me out. Trying to pour bleach on me or whatever the hell going on in these streets. Ain't none of that going on. Look, if you guys are going through some nonsense and trials and tribulations, let me know. I ain't trying to get in your business, but to put it in the comments below. I want to feature you for the next show. And it's been Josh from Talk to Him, boy, and I just talked to you, boy. Ah!